So you're coming up on the end of your first year here. How's it been overall for you?
It's been wonderful. I mean, people here have been incredibly welcoming, and I've really had a great time. And one of the things that I was looking for in this position was to be able to learn and to be able to experience new things and make a difference. And I feel that in all of those instances, I've learned a tremendous amount. Every day there's something new, sometimes something troubling, sometimes something pleasing, but always something new. Feels like I'm making a difference here. Feels like we're making a lot of forward movement, a lot of accomplishments. And the important thing to recognize is that anything good that happens, I may be a participant in, but what makes me happier is when other people are the main causes of those good things happening, because that tells you we have a healthy university where everything doesn't rely on the president.
How would you compare the endowment as the goal of $2 billion to some of those other schools and what you're trying to do?
What I would say is, when I look at the campaign, I benchmark it off of a school that I think we'd like to be a lot like, which is UCLA, which is a school I used to be dean at. So UCLA basically, I believe, has a campaign of about $4.2 million, but the majority of that campaign is for their hospital and their engineering. When you add the two together, it's more than 50%. We don't have either of those two schools. So when you take that into consideration, we're ultimately apples to apples doing a campaign which is bigger.
So when you look at the $2 billion, which is the goal, what would that do for the University of Oregon differently?
Essentially, what I sometimes say is, for some schools, philanthropy is the icing on the cake. For us, it's a whole layer of the cake, and we really need to be successful. It's going to fund professors, endowed professors. It's going to fund scholarships for students. It's going to fund, hopefully, a laboratory building for us. It's going to fund science, equipment for sciences. It will fund needed classrooms. So these are all really, really important things that we need if we're going to grow and achieve the level of excellence that I am counting on.
Is $2 billion the ceiling, or do you want to improve from there?
If you know anybody who can take us over $2 billion, I'm happy to call them.
Let's shift a little bit to athletics. Obviously, it plays a big
Sure.
role here at the University of Oregon. What kind of role do you want to see it play here?
So I think athletics plays a huge role and should play a huge role in our school. It's part of our culture. It can also serve as a model for us, because what our football team was not as great a football team 15 years ago, 20 years ago as it is today. How did it become great? We need to learn about that. It took resources, it took concentration, it took execution and dedication. That's the same sorts of lessons that we want to use with respect to our academic program. And really, we want to really build on excellence everywhere we can. We've got a great faculty, but we need to get even more.
So the U of O recently cut 79 adjunct and non-tenured track faculty at the College of Arts and Sciences. What was the reasoning behind that?
So the reasoning was that the number of students taking courses in the humanities and the social sciences had declined in the past really since the Great Recession. And yet that the humanities and the social sciences had tended to grow and keep hiring the non-tenured staff. Some people will say, oh, well, what Schill's trying to do is sort of say he's not responsible. I'm responsible for everything that goes on in this university. On the other hand, I don't believe that the role of the president is to micromanage the various colleges and schools. That's why we have deans.
When you look at that student body, about 24,000 or so, a little bit more than that here at the University of Oregon, are you happy with that size, or do you think it could be bigger or smaller?
That's something we have to look at. I'm happy with that size. I might be happy with a bigger size, probably not a smaller size. We just need to understand how we can grow, where we can grow, and when we can grow. Because one of the things that's important is we should not grow if we don't have the facilities available for us.
So you come from a very select law school and a very selective university as well. How selective do you want to see Oregon be in terms of taking students in at a high school?
I want this school to always be a school where people who grew up in modest conditions, modest circumstances, will be able to go and have opportunities. That isn't necessarily inconsistent with bringing together the smartest, most able students around. What our mission is to educate people, particularly students from the state of Oregon, but not just from the state of Oregon. Our mission is to be a nationally prominent university, and deep down what it means to be public, to me, is opportunity. It means we want to be a school that is accessible to students regardless of their economic circumstance.
Joseph Campbell said, "Follow your bliss." What does that mean to you, and how would you apply that to the University of Oregon?
That we want students to be able to go here and really achieve their highest potential. So for me, what I would say is, in terms of follow your bliss, is I have my own idea of what I want you to do. What I want you to do is go out. God gave you a brain. I want you to use your brain to your highest potential and make me proud.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.